Hi, I'm Nathan. Recently, my wife and I were over at Don and Christine's Potter's house, and we were talking about community. We were talking about the early church, as usually comes up when you talk about community. We talked about how they shared everything in common, and when they shared everything in common, it wasn't just their possessions. It was really all of their life. They were sharing their joys, their pains, their emotions. They were sharing their family. They were really sharing everything. Sharing all of life is a beautiful thing. And there's both value and also sometimes there's pitfalls that come along with that. And the clips that follow are just portions of that conversation that we had, talking about the true nature and the true value of community, and also at least one of the pitfalls that comes in that. I hope you enjoy it.
Felt like when all things were in common, that what you have, I have. I can have what you have or take what you have, and that's an uncommon. That's not common at all. It's what is needed gets provided by he who has what is needed, and which means the person who got that provision will bring what they have to what is needed for someone else. That's the common putting things together. You bring what is needed, not just openly take what you feel like or what you want. That's a hard thing to.
Oh my.
If anybody's ever been abused by that, and I certainly have a time or two, that idea that says, hey man, you're a Christian, I ought to be able to use everything you have or take anything I want or borrow what I feel like without a discussion that's not what the disciples did at all. And what happened to Ananias and Sapphira is they came and made a promise about something. I'm going to give you everything, all the money we get from the sale of our lands or our house or our kind of stuff. It's fine. You don't have to do that. But if you want to, then give it all. But when they showed up, they held back. And that meant they broke their promise. It had nothing to do with keeping money. It had to do with breaking their promise.
I love the thing of this unity, this union that comes with the Spirit. I've had experience like it, and a lot of people have before. You go to the grocery store and you think you're binging. Why am I buying all this or this or that or this or that? And then you get home, and then you unconsciously, the Lord was urging and prompting you to buy stuff for the event that was coming that you didn't know was going to happen. And those serendipitous times with the Spirit are the way we're called to live daily. That I live in such a surrendered way with the Spirit that He can give me a portion that is going to be in the common pool, and I don't even know it. To whom much is given, much is required. And I had never seen it before, in that there are people who are going to have a bounteous supply, much, much, much more. And the much isn't given to us just for the accumulation to have and to put in the barns and stuff like that. It's given to us so that it will be available. It'll be in the common pool of the Lord. He's given it to you so He can contribute it to those in need in the time that He chooses to release it. The other part is that just because someone has something doesn't mean they're permitted to give it. That's the other thing of stewardship. It's not like Don was saying, just because it's there, everybody can have it. It's that is the Lord has given us a stewardship and a governing over what we've been given and what we haven't been given.
If to whom much has been given, much is required. But if that is committed to men, they will require all the more. That's the second half of that scripture. So, what means is, if God has given you much, then He'll require much. But if you promise what God has given you or commit it to men, they'll start increasing their requirement. That word means an ever increasing of their requirement of you. So you have to commit what you have to God. It cannot be committed to men, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Or they'll just increase their demand. They constantly increase what they want or what they need. And a funny thing is, if you want to be a minister, it would say that you commit whatever that gift God gave you to minister to God. And then He'll require that of you. That makes any sense. He'll require, that's how you commit it to God, is He's required what He gave you as a gift to minister with. But if you've decided to commit that ministry gift to men, they'll increase their requirement until you're burned out.